Morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your host, Patricia Rivero Wolfson. I am also what I like to call an energy alchemist, an intuitive coach, and an energy healer. And I am also a wife to a wife. I was going to say a wife to three boys. I am not a wife to three boys. I am a wife and a mom to three boys. Yes, I have a lot of men in my life, and I like it that way. Welcome to another show. I'm so happy to have. I'm excited to be here for another day. Still fighting a cold. You can hear the nasally nasal resonance. Sure, why not? We'll go with that. But I'm still happy to be here. Good morning, Mom. Good morning. So here I am. I may have to mute to cough at some point today, but we're doing well, and we're just going to keep on trucking along. So today's topic, which I'm really excited about. I mean, I'm usually excited about most topics, but today's topic is how to go about things, how to make things better when things aren't going your way. So as I said, this is going to be like the number one way to shift your energy, right? So we're going to talk about that today, as well as other things that come up when I think about it. In the meantime, let's get started with our Me First Morning ritual. I want to get right into that space. I want to connect us to that inner guidance, that inner intuition, and bring that to the forefront right now. And then we're going to move forward and talk about exactly this topic of, excuse me, forgot to press the mute button, how to make things better when they are not going the way you want. All right. So here we go. First of all, first little, point of business is to please go to YouTube, go to Jumpstart for Change and subscribe. This is like me pressing that subscribe button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and go ahead and ding the notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live. You can find me here Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST here on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you are. Those are the places that you can find me. If you're watching me, you know where to find me. Okay, so let's start by, excuse me. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to light this candle and we'll start our little routine. Here we go. Light your candle if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. I have my sacred frankincense, which is the essential oil I like to use for my grounding or meditation or when I'm doing healing work. You can use any essential oil or no essential oil, whatever resonates with you the most. Some people are really drawn to essential oils. I love them. I love the smells. Not all the smells, not all essential oils, but generally speaking, if you find yourself drawn towards something, then that's probably a good one to use. You don't have to question it. If you really like it, if you like the smell, if it creates the feeling that you're looking for, well, then it's the right one for you. Okay, so after we do that, I grab my crystal spheres, and this is just something that I like to use. I like to use tools to support me, mainly because they're fun. And this is actually part of the topic for today's discussion about what is the one shift that you can make. What is the one thing you can do to shift your energy when you're looking to shift your energy, no matter what you are going through, no matter what's going on in your life? How can you shift it? Well, the number one thing is, of course, to figure out a way to make it better. But also, if you want to like fine tune it, what I find really works well for me is how can you make it fun, right? Especially when you have resistance towards something or you really just don't want to do something. You're like, oh, what a chore, what a bore, what a pain, right? If those are the things that come up for you when you think about doing something, well, then think to yourself, well, what can I do to make it better? Or more importantly, in this case, what can I do to make it fun? And so that's why I use these tools. each one of the tools that I use are very useful, even coming from, the spiritual angle in that sense. I use a candle because lighting a candle sort of initiates the ceremony, the ritual sense. And of course, the light represents turning on the light, making the whole, ritual sacred. I use the essential oils because, not only do they smell good, but they also, of course, trigger the olfactory senses and connect with your body. So if you're always using the same scent, when you put it on, you immediately start to get centered and grounded with this scent, and you don't even have to do the whole routine. That smell will activate the emotion, that feeling of relaxation. And I use these crystals because they're fun. I like to use them, right? And so that's part of what we're going to talk about today, how you can add things to make the experience fun, especially if it's something that you may think, oh, I really need to do this. This would be really good for me to do this. I want to add this new habit. But you're like, you feel the resistance. You're like, I just don't want to. I just can't. I just can't figure out a way to find the time, find the motivation, find the energy to do it. Well, trying to introduce an element of fun is one of the ways that you can get yourself to where you want to go. So once again, we're going back to our centering ritual that we do every day together here on Me First Mornings. So I lit the candle, I added my essential oils, and I now have my clear crystal quartz spheres in my hand so that we can begin the process. I probably shouldn't talk as much as I normally do. Hold on, I need to take a sip of water. Because it's exhausting to talk. I thought I was totally over this, whatever virus is, not COVID. But I'm clearly not. I'm still fighting. So let's fight together. All right, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And I really want you to use these deep breaths. I don't know if you're struggling with an illness yourself. Maybe you have a cold or COVID or some other virus that now everybody took their masks off. The viruses are like, woohoo, finally we have hosts. So everybody's really kind of feeling it right now when we're going through like all that stuff. Everybody's experiencing, a little battle in their immune system right now as we readjust to life without masks. So that being the case, you're probably fighting something. You're probably struggling with something. So I want you to take this opportunity to use this breath to infuse that healing light into your body and send that light throughout every single cell of your body. You have something like 3 trillion cells, okay? Or trillions of cells, I don't know, but I think there's definitely trillions of cells in your body. And I want you to imagine that you are opening up the top of your head and allowing the beautiful, powerful, healing light that comes from the sun that gives us our growth, the sun that gives us our information, the sun that gives us life, the sun that fuels our planet, okay? I want you to allow the power of the sun to enter into your body and just allow that light to shine as brightly as it can, and it's going to just dissipate and break apart any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy. It is going to blast out any cells that are struggling right now, that are having trouble with any sort of illness that you might be experiencing, any challenge you might be experiencing. I want you to take that bright, bright light from the sun, infuse your body with that healing and creative light, and allow your body to do what it does best with the help of the sun, with the help of your spiritual support team, cleansing your body of all things that don't serve it, that not only includes illness, but also limiting beliefs and any blocks that prevent you from moving forward in your personal evolution. So let's do that together now. Take a deep breath in and hold for 5 seconds. Hold. And release. Beautiful. Good morning, Lina. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. The next step is we're going to take another deep breath, and this time we're going to focus on our feet and that same healing life force energy that comes from the ground. We are going to invite it to come in through our feet. We're going to imagine that just like a root, it comes up through the ground into our feet and up our whole body, branching out. It's beautiful, creative, healing life force energy, just flowing through our whole body, charging us with the power of the earth, the power of creation, the power of growth and expansion. So let's do that together. And I want you to feel the power coming from the earth, fueling you and energizing you for the day. All right, here we go. And hold. And release. Once again, eliminating any limiting beliefs, thoughts, patterns, or energy that does not serve us. Just imagine that it is leaving your body, and we're asking our spiritual support team and Mother Nature to transmute that energy into the highest and greatest good of all. All right, last deep breath. Once again, and I want you to just focus on fueling your whole body, right? This exercise is for us to clear our channel, right? To clear the vessel, to connect with spirit, and to charge up for the day. So let's do that together. One last breath, make it count, and really just take a deep, deep breath, increasing your capacity to receive love, light, and breath, that life force energy that flows through us. Let's just charge up, right? And imagine those, like, the battery lights beside you. That's how I like to imagine it. They're just going boop, 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 and just charging you up for the day. Here we go. And hold. And release. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to continue with releasing any stuck or stagnant energy by stretching, right? So anywhere where you might feel tension or discomfort or, stiffness in your body, what we want is to increase the flow. We want to reduce the tension in our body, and we just want to keep things moving. So anywhere where you feel tension, just stretch it out. You can feel it in your back and your legs and your neck, anywhere in your body that you feel there's like stuckness or stagnation, anything that feels uncomfortable or where you may be feeling pain. Just take a deep breath and release any of that tension. Oh, there we go. And then we shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. There we go. Just shake out that energy that doesn't serve us. And we ask once again that our spiritual support team transmutes that energy into something that can be used for the highest and greatest good of all. All right, so now let's say our prayer and set our intentions for the day. Excuse me. All right, so for those of you who already have your GPS workbook, then you know what intention you may want to set for the day. But for those who don't have it yet, feel free to download your free GPS workbook anytime. It's going to take you through a series of questions that's going to help you figure out what is the feeling that you want to capture most in your life. And so that is what we will set as our intention for the day. You may already have that without filling out the GPS workbook, and that's okay too. Or you may have something different that you would like to focus on today or set as an intention for today. So just think about that and keep that top of mind as we go through and set our intention through prayer. Okay, here we go. Excuse me. All right. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay. So, I'm going to talk about what I wrote about in my post, for those of you who saw it, right? And I was talking about drinking water, right? I don't know about you guys, but here, I have a really hard time remembering to drink water. And I don't know if it's a remembering thing. Really, it's just like, it's a chore. Water is refreshing to me and tastes really good when I'm hot and tired and, when I'm like sweating. And whenever I'm like hot and sweating or really, really thirsty, by that point, I'm already dehydrated and it's too late. So I have worked really hard to try to come up with different ways for me to hydrate, for me to remember to drink more water. I tried to get a, different bottle of water. I, tried flavoring the water, adding like, some mint and cucumber because I like that flavor, but then I'd always have to remember to cut up the mint and cucumber. And, part of the reason that it's challenging for me is because of ADHD, okay? It just is what it is. I'm learning that's one of the things is like staying organized and keeping up with certain things that you haven't established yet as a habit is difficult. So I continually try to create these little hacks so that I can hack my brain to remember to drink water, which I know is really good for me. And it's not like I dislike it. It's not like, I drink water and I'm grossed out, right? So I wanted to share with you because it's a perfect example for today's topic, that this week, one of my besties, Linda, who I don't think she's here, but if she's here, I love you and thank you. She bought me this beautiful water bottle, okay? So you guys can see it's like a crystal water bottle. It has amethysts inside. So you fill it with water and you infuse the water with the, crystal energy, which I love. So I'm a crystal healer and I love crystals and I've been known to be called a crazy crystal lady. So, all of that works for me. What I didn't realize is that without realizing, because this bottle was so adorable, like I love it so much, and I like that it's infused with crystals, regardless of whether or not the infusion or the crystals are actually doing anything to the water. We can go into the scientifics of that and, sort of the reaction of the water to the crystals. I do taste a difference sometimes when I infuse my water with crystals or moon water. I use moon water all the time. But what I wanted to say about that is just the idea that this excited me to drink from it. And I use this like nice filtered water. So it's like refreshing and fun and it's easy. And I have like, it's got like a wide mouth opening. Anyway, it's a good bottle. And I'm not trying to sell the bottle. What I'm trying to say is that because I love this bottle and it's so pretty and I also really like using it, and find that it works for me. In the last couple of days, I have drank more water than I did probably for the last few weeks. Because I have it with me and I don't feel like it's a bother to carry it with me because I take it with me because I like it. So I am much more inclined to bring it with me everywhere I go because I like it. I guess I wasn't as ready to do the show as I thought I was. Okay, anyway, the point is that I'm telling you that when you have to do something that feels like a chore, when there's something you have to do that you don't want to do and you feel that resistance, one of the best ways to shift your energy around that thing you need to do is to make it fun. The real goal is to, make it better in some way. How can you make it better? No matter what is going on in your life, no matter what challenges you are facing in your life, you are, wherever it is that you are feeling, you're at this frequency, right? Wherever you are, no matter what it is, it doesn't matter, right? But you emit a frequency regardless of what's going on in your life. And so if you're at a level that you're not happy with, if that frequency is, and kind of more or less what frequency you're at, depending on your emotional state, right? So if you are in a really amazing emotional state, I think this candle's making me cough. I'm just gonna move that over. Okay. So if you are in a really great emotional state, then you're in a high energy, high frequency, right? But if you're in a lower emotional state, or you're feeling heavier, or you have challenges, then you're in a lower vibrational state, and you may not want to stay there. All feelings are valid, all frequencies are valid. We talk about that all the time here. But if you are at a level, if you're in an emotional state that you don't want to stay in, or is no longer working for you, but you may not be sure how to shift that emotional state, the reason that most people have trouble in shifting their emotional states is because they're thinking, I have to go from this place that I'm at right now to like bliss, to happiness, right? Because we've been taught by people who have incorporated sort of spiritual bypassing into their processing, right? Like, or should I say, people who aren't processing and just spiritual bypassing. They're trying to tell you, or they try to teach you to avoid all bad feelings, right? So if you're angry, if you are depressed, if you are jealous, if you are, anxious, whatever it is that you're feeling that typically gets a negative rap, right, for a feeling, then the personal development world and the spiritual world very often will tell you, like, you gotta just stop feeling those bad feelings and then just start feeling good. Just ignore all the bad and just like do what you can to feel good. Now, I agree to that. I agree with that to a certain extent. And the extent that I agree is that you need to shift your energy. But you can't go from feeling terrible to feeling amazing in one fell swoop. So what you need to do is to just shift one tiny thing to be able to shift the direction of your momentum and to shift your emotional state by like 1 grade, if you want to, or 1 degree, if you want to look at that, right? So you can just shift your frequency just a little bit. And one of the best ways to do that is to, as I said, incorporate fun, or make something more fun, or make something, well, in this case, like the water bottle didn't make this more fun, although I do find the crystals kind of fun, so it does add that element, but it was also pretty, and I felt good carrying it around. So that's what you need to do, is like, how can you feel better than where you are right now? It's not like, how can I feel amazing, right? How can I go from how I feel right now to feeling amazing? Although feeling amazing may be your ultimate goal, but really what you need to focus on how can I feel like 1 degree better, right? When you think of the emotional state, how can I feel a tiny bit better? How can I shift this so that it's that much better, right? And I talk about this all the time in terms of, obligations that we have to take care of. And I try to teach my kids too. You want to clean, but you don't want to clean because it's annoying, it's boring, it takes your time. How can you make cleaning fun? Is it by putting music in your ears and dancing while you go? Is it when you, maybe listen to a podcast? That's what I do. I listen to a podcast and make it more fun. Is it playing a little game with yourself? Is it involving the family and having the family play a game about who can clean up the fastest? How can you make what you need to do that you don't want to do a little bit more fun, or a little bit better? That's the secret. That's the key. Because if you can shift it by 1 degree, and Abraham Hicks often talks about, changing your emotional scale. And I think they even provide an emotional scale for you to look at to see like where things are at in terms of frequency. Like, shame and guilt are at the, bottom. The lowest frequency is shame, absolute lowest frequency, right? And then the highest frequency, of course, is like love and joy. So between shame and love and joy, there's a lot of different emotions in there. So all you need to do is shift it by 1. So if you're someone who's going through something and you're struggling and you're depressed, guess what? When you decide to get angry, that is 1 little step above depression, right? So if you can somehow manage to get yourself angry about the thing you're depressed about, you are already moving in a better direction. You are already making a difference in how your energy shifts in your body. So wherever you're at, the tiniest little adjustment that you can make to make it easier, to make it more fun, to make it a little bit better is what's going to serve you in this time, like during these challenging times. So don't aim for bliss and happiness and abundance and perfection and all that crap. Aim for one little bit better. Just what could make this a little bit better? What could I introduce here? What do I have control over, right? In this situation that can make this better. And more often than not, the thing that's in your control is your perspective and your outlook. And sometimes that might take work, but that's why it's important to really focus on getting yourself just a little bit better, because step by step, going from depression to anger to blame to, and all of those don't sound good. Like anger doesn't sound good. Blame doesn't sound good, but they are better than depression, right? They are a more productive emotional response, right? It's more productive because when you're depressed, you don't do anything. You're sad. You don't want to do the things that you love. You're disconnected, right? But when you're angry, you're connecting to the anger, right? And you are propelling yourself forward going, you know what? I'm depressed because that person hurt me. They betrayed me, right? They betrayed my trust. They betrayed me. I'm so upset. I'm so angry with them. And then you can do, then you're like anger, blame. You're starting to move up the emotional scale. And through those little increments, you can move towards, eventual forgiveness, or that's part of the process, right? The processing of those emotions, right? Just like when you start a car, and we've talked about this because obviously I love the GPS analogy. I use the driving analogy all the time. I look at our bodies as our vessel and as our vehicle, right? So when you are driving, when you put your foot on the gas, right, you don't go no matter how fast you go, if you go 0 to 60 in 1 second or 3 seconds or 0.2 seconds, it doesn't matter. The fact is you still have to go through all the numbers, right? You still have to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 60, right? The same thing with our emotional scale, right? If you are kind of down in the dumps and miserable, right? To get to joy and bliss, you still have to go through all of the other emotions, right? And you may do it super, super quickly. But the fact is that you do experience them because that is part of how we process the emotions that come our way. All right. Drop one of your crystals in the water. Yes, actually, I can. I think there's a way that you can kind of get our own crystals in there, but I haven't looked into it, but I do love it. Okay, Liz Garcia, good morning. Good morning. All right, here we go. I'm going to pull a card and see what our spiritual support team has to say about making things better. So what do we need to know about making things just 1 degree better? Look at this. Number 20, flying. I love this, right? I love this because this feels freeing, and it also feels, playful and fun, right? If you can add any element of playfulness and fun into your shift, right? Because you can be in a low vibrational state. And if you choose to be like, how can I make this fun? How can I add lightness? And flying, it's like literally lightness. It's like making yourself lighter so that you can feel like you're floating, so that you can feel yourself going above the situation, because that's really what it comes down to. It's about rising above your circumstances, right? It's rising above whatever you are faced with in your life and being able to bring some lightness to it, some easiness to it, some grace to it, right? So you want to add and imagine, look at this beautiful, it's a unicorn. Look, this picture is a unicorn flying, right? A unicorn flying, and it even looks like cherry blossoms. So very appropriate for the time of year right now as we enter cherry blossom season. But I really, really love this reminder. And I think our spiritual support team collectively is reminding us that you need to rise above. You need to bring yourself up. You need to shift your circumstances just a touch. So if there's any way that you can add fun and you can use playfulness and fun to shift your emotional state, even if you're not going from sadness to total bliss, but if you can go from sadness, it's why the macabre humor works, right? Because people are kind of dealing and processing their sadness through humor, right? So that's the fun, that's the lightness. So it's important that you understand that using lightness, fun, or ease or grace and adding that to any situation and allowing yourself to process through the filter of fun and playfulness, if possible, of course, then that is going to help you move through that emotional scale much quicker and get you to the feeling that you actually want. Whatever that GPS word is for you, whatever it is that feeling is for you, that is going to make you feel connected and in alignment with your highest and greatest good. Okay, Meredith, I'm so glad you're here. Good morning. I hope that was helpful today. I anticipate being back tomorrow unless my cough gets much worse. But I believe I'm on the mend, so I will be here tomorrow. Everything going well. Friday is my 100th episode of Me First Morning, so I'm not quite sure what we're going to do for it. Probably just do card readings, which I really enjoy doing, but I would really love for you to be here for that 100th episode celebration with all of you. So please make sure you're here tomorrow and Friday. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and also on YouTube. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go to Jumpstart for Change, subscribe, ding the notification bell, and please spread the word to anyone who you think may benefit from Me First Mornings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly love you all. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.